welcome to 2025. Okay, so there's a couple things I want to talk about. One of them is following our principles, and that is, everybody wants to follow the natural laws, physical and natural laws, spiritual laws, and create our own happiness. All right? So we don't want to create our own unhappiness. So when we come into 2025, I'm going to take a verse from one of my guides, John Lennon, as some people know. And this would be Happy Christmas. So, all right. And the verse would be, if I can remember it, a new year has just begun, and what have we done? Right? So we have to more or less reflect on what our spiritual growth has been for the last year, or you can say the last 10 years if you want to look at it that way. So everything is about spiritual growth and how we create our own happiness. And part of it is what I would call following the principles of mindfulness. And these go into Buddhist traditions, Reiki traditions, but also we would call them spiritual traditions. And that would be being mindful. Just for today, do not anger. Okay? So, everybody has anger welling up in themselves. And how we deal with it is whether we are happy or not. And the anger, when it comes in, we're going to have to learn to remove it. The last couple nights, I've been up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I go, what's going on here? I'm getting these thoughts from 30 years ago, and it's almost pissing me off. So, but, I'm getting a little angry here. But what can I do about it? I have to be mindful and say, hey, I have to live in the now, try to get some sleep too. But I have to live in the now, and that is in the past, and that has been dealt with. But our mind is a tricky thing. So our mind will remind us of our past mistakes, and also our past achievements. But mostly it comes up with mistakes, and what are we going to do about that? And we have to look at mindfulness and with what I would call the mind of God. And when we look at the mind of God, or the mind of infinite intelligence, then as Neville Goddard would say, our thoughts are our imagination, and that is coming from infinite intelligence. So when those thoughts come in, they should be happy thoughts. All right? And, all right, just for today, do not anger. But the other mindfulness would be, just for today, do not worry. Okay? Am I going to pay my bill today? Right? My cell phone bill was due. So it's, and we worry about a lot of things. We worry about our health. We worry about our wealth. We worry about our children especially. And when we look at that, that worry is coming in almost on the vibration of fear. All right? Now, fear is the opposite of love. And the only thing that infinite intelligence is giving us is love. And we have to be in that state of love or happiness, if we want to call it that. And if we worry, if we let in that fear, okay, then that's going to create a little emotional waggle-daggle in your emotional aura. And that's going to create a little bit of unhappiness. So just for today, do not worry. All right? I'm listening to the song coming in. Be happy. Don't worry. All right? Go to Jamaica on a cruise. Okay? Okay. So just for today, be humble and thankful. Okay? You know, some people might call me the most humble person in the world. And I think I learned that from my father, because he was very humble. But we have to look at thankfulness or gratitude, all right? And what we have in our world that gives us that gratitude. And every day we should be waking up and saying, what am I grateful for? Am I grateful for my family? Am I grateful for the things that I have achieved in my life? But more than that, be humble, and what are you going to do about it? All right? Another year's passed. Right? Where are we going? Okay, so just for today, honor your work. All right? Now, we're all achievers. All right? That is our imagination from infinite intelligence. That is our stimulus from the universe. And we have to honor ourselves and do the work that we do, whether it's healing, whether it's ministry, or in my case, whether it's writing a book or not. Okay? All right, so I have to be mindful for myself and actually get rid of this procrastination. You know, the information is all there, but we have to honor our work and all the service that we do for people, because service is what it's all about, how we help our fellow man. And then just for today, be compassionate to yourself and to others. So there's a mindfulness. And we have to be compassionate to ourselves, or love ourselves first. Okay? That means when I look in the mirror, that I shouldn't be getting some hair tonic and get hair growth stuff, right? Get a bunch of grow grain. So, all right? And we're going to have to love ourselves just the way we are, and how we project that love to other people. And when we project that love to other people, they actually feel it. They will feel the healing energies. They will feel the service that you're doing for people. It's, my mentor, which was James Thomas, would always say, service, service, service. That's the number one work that we have there. So, again, with mindfulness, that's going to create our own happiness or unhappiness if we don't follow it to that degree that we actually love ourselves with. So, when we look at the law of mind, which is one of the natural laws, it creates our own happiness. This is, as I said before, Neville Goddard would say, that's our imagination coming in from infinite intelligence. And that law of mind inspires us to be the people that we should be, following our thoughts are the most powerful energy that we have, and it comes from that imagination. And in some regards, when we send our positive thoughts out, in healing is one of the modalities we do that with, then our thoughts are faster than the speed of light, and they get delivered just instantaneously. So when we send positive thoughts out based on our imagination, then positive actions and reactions can take place with that. And there's been the study of the law of mind for many years. For instance, we credit the Wright brothers for having the thought of having first flight. But that thought went around the world first. And the actual first flight was in New Zealand. And it's just the newspapers didn't report it till after the Wright brothers, who get the credit for first flight. So that's what the power of the mind is. And that group consciousness that we can actually be a part of, that this whole congregation is to make that mindfulness and make that service that we need to make the service of. All right, now, creating our own happiness and unhappiness says nature's physical and spiritual laws. Now, one of the physical laws is the law of gravity. Right? So we have to look at that one too. And it's like the Fool's card in the tarot deck. Number 0, you got the knapsack behind the guy, and he's going to step off a cliff. Right? All right? If he's not divinely led, he may cause his unhappiness by crashing down on the rocks below. Okay? We don't want to do that. We have to work with that mindfulness and know where we're going. And besides the images in that card, we have the dog, kind of trying to pull him back at the pant legs there. So we have to remember that dog is God backwards. Right? So God is always pulling you back and getting us on our soul path to where we want to be. But it's also all about that symbology of the Fool's card is the mindfulness. We have to love ourselves. We have to know where we're going. But we have to be honest with ourselves too. Can we achieve what we want to achieve? Okay, so I will leave you with this message, but just be mindful, because we are all a reflection of infinite intelligence. Thank you for listening.